Okay, good afternoon, viewers. Welcome back to Easy Mathematics. Yesterday, we were able to conclude transformation and what we are to do when it comes to transformation. Today, we are taking a question where you have two or more transformation in it. So let's look at the first example and see what we are to do. Using a scale of 2 centimeters to 2 units on both axes, draw on a sheet of graph paper two perpendicular axes OX and OY with intervals -10 less or equal to X less or equal to 10 and -10 less or equal to Y less or equal to 10. Plot indicating all the coordinates of point P, you have it, Q, you have it, and R, you have it on a graph sheet, and join the point. So we've talked about how to draw your X and Y axis, looking at the scale that you have been given, and also the intervals. So on our graph sheet, we have our X, Y axis, and we have our X axis. So the interval is 2 centimeters to 2 units. The 2 units means the difference are in 2, 4, 6. So difference of 2. Then this has been given in a set builder notation that on the x-axis we should see -10 and +10. So we have it there. Then we have to plot all the points. So we have P, 2, 2. We have it here. We've plotted all the points. Now let's look at how to draw the image of what you have been asked. Now when you come here, you have I to I. We are going to say refer to graph. Let's come to the I. I says draw the image P1, Q1, R1 of triangle PQR under a reflection in the line y is equal to 0, where P maps to P1, Q maps to Q1, and R maps to R1. Now you have been asked to reflect the triangle PQR in the line y is equal to 0. When we're looking at reflection, we said when you are being asked to reflect in the line y is equal to 0, line y is equal to 0 is the same as reflection in the x-axis. So we are reflecting it in the line y is equal to 0, which is the same as reflection in the what? X-axis. So where is the x-axis? This is your x-axis. So we are coming to take the x-axis as our mirror line. So if this is our object, then where will the image be? The image will be opposite the object. But we know that the distance from the object to the mirror is the same as from the mirror to the image. So we count to the point. 1, 2. This is the mirror. Count 2 away from the mirror. 1, 2. So we have this as R1. What do we have as the point? We have 6 on the x-axis, -2 on the y-axis. You indicate the coordinate clearly, just as the question says, indicate all coordinates. Then we have here 1, 2, 1, 2. So this point becomes P1, which is 2, -2. Then we count from here to the mirror line, which is the x-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have it here. And this is Q prime as, read the x-axis first, 4. Then the y-axis is -6. So when you are done, you join the image you've drawn to form a triangle. So we have it this way. We have it this way. And we also have it this way. So this is the image triangle PQ, P1, R1, Q1, or P1, Q1, R1. So we've indicated the point clearly. So we write here P1. What did we get? We have 2, negative 2. We have Q1. What did we get for Q1? 4, negative 6. Then we have R1. What did we get for R1? 6, negative 2. So, sorry about that. Reflecting the point in the line y is equal to 0 is reflection in the y-axis. Sorry, in the x-axis, which is what we've reflected here. And this is the image. Now we have the next one as Ivan. What is Ivan saying? Draw the image P2, Q2, R2 of triangle P1, Q1, R1 under a rotation of 180 degrees about the origin. We've also looked at how to rotate a given point. But first of all, which of the triangles are we reflecting or are we rotating? It says draw the image P2, Q2, R2 of triangle P1, Q1, R1. So we have two triangles on the graph sheet. We should know the one we are rotating and work with the points. So this is triangle PQR, and this is triangle P1, Q1, R1. And the question says rotate P1, Q1, R1. So we are going to use this triangle's coordinates. And what are we doing? We are rotating 180 degrees about the origin. So let us first get the point when we rotate about the origin 180 degrees. Remember with the 180, we said either clockwise or anti-clockwise, they are the same. So we have our Cartesian plane drawn small here. We have the x-axis here. We have the y-axis. On this side are negative values, positive, positive. So let's see what I will get if I rotate x and y 180 degrees about the origin. With the 180, either clockwise or anti-clockwise, we will arrive at the same answer. So let's rotate x 180 degrees. So this is 90, this is 180. So now we have our new x here. Then y will also rotate 180. This is 90, this is 180. So we have our new y here. Now after rotating, we pick the one on the x-axis first. Now the x is here with the negative. So we pick it as negative y. Y also with negative. So negative y. So if I have the point and I rotate it, I'm going to get what? Negative x, negative y. I am rotating triangle P1, Q1, R1. So we are going to use that coordinate. What is P1? What is Q1? What is R1? That is why the question says where P1 maps to P2. So P1 is mapping to P2. We are coming to use this. So we have P1. What is P1? P1 is 2, negative 2. After rotating, you notice that x became negative, y became negative. So if this is positive, you are going to get it as what? Negative. If this is negative, you are going to get it as what? Positive. So P2 in coordinate, we have negative 2, 2. Then we go to the next one, which is Q1 maps to Q2. What is Q1? We have Q1 as 4, negative 6. We are using the same rotation. So 4 will be negative 4 and 6 will be positive 6. So Q2 coordinate is 4, 6. Then we have the next one as R1 maps to R2. So what do we have for R1? We have 6, negative 2. Rotating it will give you negative 6, positive 2. So R2, we have negative 6, 2. So now the new coordinates we have for R2, P2, Q2, we'll plot those points. So P2 is negative 2, 2. So negative 2, this is negative 2. And positive 2, we have it here. So this becomes P2. negative 2, 2. Then we have Q2, negative 4, 6. Negative 4 on the x, 6 on the y, meeting here. So we have the point here as Q2, negative 4, 6. Then we have R2, negative 6, 2. Negative 6 on the x, 2 on the y, meeting here. So we have R2 as negative 6, 2. Then what do? You join the point to form a triangle. Just as the question says, we should form triangle PQR. So we have it here. Then we have this like this. So you can see that this looks like you reflecting it in the what? In the y-axis. But we did a rotation in 180 degrees about the origin. So now that we have the new point, we just plot them as it is. Let's look at the V, which is the last one for question 1. Question 1 says, draw the image P3, Q3, R3 of triangle PQR. Now we have 3 triangles here. And you have been asked to draw another image, which is P3, Q3, R3 of triangle PQR. Which of the triangles here is PQR? This is PQR. This is P1, Q1, R1. This is P2, Q2, R2. So we are going to use this triangle. And what are we doing? It says draw the image P2, P3, Q3, R3 of triangle PQR, which is the first triangle, under a translation vector 1, 2, where P maps to P3. What did we do? What did we say that if you are having a translation vector, what are you going to do with the translation vector to find the image? We are going to add the vector to the point. So if P maps to P3, then for me to get P3, I am going to add the point P. What is P? From the question, you have P. P is giving us 2, 2. So we are going to say 2, 2 plus the translation vector. What is the translation vector? You were given 1, 2. So put it together. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 2 is 4. So what is the coordinate for P3? P3 is 3, 4. Then you do for the next one, which is Q maps to Q3. Before I can get Q3, I am going to add the point. The point which is Q. What is Q? Q is 4, 6. Plus the vector. What is the vector? 1, 2. Putting the 2 together will give me 5, 8. So the coordinate of Q3 is 5, 8. Then I go for the last one, which is R maps to R3. So we have R3 to be R. What is R? You have 6, 2 plus the vector 1, 2, because it is a translation vector. Putting the 2 together will give you 7, 4. So we have R3 as its coordinate being 4, 7. So the new points that we have, we plot them. So let's take our time and do the plotting. P3 is 3, 4. So 3 on the x-axis. But when you look at the x-axis, we don't have 3, but the 3 is invisible, which is between 2 and 4. So between 2 and 4, I have 3, which is this line. And we have 4 on the y-axis. So where is 4 on the y-axis? This is 4. The 2 will meet here. So I have my point here, which is what? P3. Then you label the vectors 3, 4. Then we go to the next one. Q3, 5, 8. How can I get 5? Between 4 and 6, we have 5. We have 8 here. The 2 meets here. So this is Q3, 5, 8. Then you have the final one as 7, 4. 6, 7, 4 here. And this is R3, 7, 4. So when you are done, you join the point to form a complete triangle, which is here, here, then you have it here. And so this is how we plot it. So you have P3, Q3, R3. And you see that in this question, you have reflection, you have rotation, you have translation. So all the transformation have been combined in one question for you to do what? To solve. And this is what is expected from us if we are to come across it. You just take it step by step. At least you should spend 15 minutes on this. At least we should be able to spend 15 minutes on it so that we can get everything correct. So this is what you have. You just take it step by step by drawing your X and Y axis, label the vertices, plot the points you have been given, join to form the shape you have. Then look at the first transformation. Is it reflection? Is it rotation? Is it by a scale factor? Then you quickly do it to get the answer correct. And doing everything correct here gives you 15 over 15 if there is no sub-question under it. Let's take example 2 and see how example 2 looks like and how we have to solve for example 2. Good. When you come to the example 2, it's a similar question of what we just did. So using a scale of 2 centimeters to 1 unit on both axes. So with this question, you have your X and Y axis, 2 centimeters to 1 unit, you have it there. So on the graph sheet, mark the X axis from -5 to 5, you have it there. And the Y axis from -6 to 6, you have it there. Plot the points. So we have to plot the points. So let's look at it. Solution. So we have A to B. We are going to say refer to graph. So you should plot 1, -2. So X is 1. Y is 1 on this one. We have 1 here. -2. Where is -2? We have -2 here. So 1, -2 meets here. And we have the point P, 1, -2. Then we have Q, 4, 5. We have 4 here. We have 5 here. So this is point Q, 4, 5. So we have it there. Let's continue. The next one says that P1, the image of P, under a translation by the vector -50, and Q1, the image of Q, by the same vector. So when you look at the question, it says that we have P1, and the P1 is the image of what? Of P under a translation vector. So if I want P1, I am going to add the translation vector to the point P so that I will get the P1. The question has not asked you to join something now, so don't do the joining. It says plot the point, so we've plotted. We are good to go. Now we have P1, which is the image of P under a translation vector. What is the vector? -50. So we are going to say BII. If we want P1, then we are going to add the point, which is 1, 2, that is the P, plus the translation vector, which is -50. So doing the addition here, we are going to get 1 plus -5, which is -4. Then -2 plus 0, which is -2. So we have P prime or P1 as -4, -2. And it says that Q1 being the image of Q by the same vector. So if I want Q prime, then the image Q prime can be derived or can be had by adding the point Q plus the translation vector -50. So let's do the addition. You have 4 plus -5. When positive and negative meet, it becomes negative, giving you -1. Then 5 plus 0, giving you 5. So Q prime coordinate is -1, 5. So now that you have the image, what do? You plot the image. So let's do the plotting. We have P prime as -4, -2, X -4, Y -2. So meeting here. So we have P prime as -4, -2. The Q prime, -1, 5. Where is 5? This is 5. So where would the two meet? The two will meet here. So we have Q prime as negative. Good. Let's continue. So we've plotted both P and Q. We've plotted Q1, P1, or P prime, Q prime. Now when it comes to CI, it says join P, Q, Q prime, P prime. So we are coming to join this point and see what we have. So we have this, join this, join this, you join this, then finally we join this, because the question says join P, Q, Q1, P1. So we've done the joining. Measure angle P, Q, Q1. Now with this one, let's look at something here. You have to measure angle. So we have CI, refer to graph. Then we have II. Join F, measure the angle. So we have angle P, Q, Q1. Now to measure the angle, look at the letter at the middle, which is Q. And where is Q? This is Q. So we want the angle here. And to do that, we are going to use the protractor, which is 68 degrees. We'll look at how to do measurement. We'll do measurement, then you see the answer for how we can measure that. So the angle PQ1 is 68 degrees. Then the same as angle P1 Q1, which is P1. The letter at the middle is P1, which is this angle. So you measure, then we are also going to notice that the angle there is also 68 degrees. We'll look at how to measure and see how it is done. We apologize for not bringing the protractor for us to do the measurement. But we'll do that in the next explanation that we have about graph based on a question like this. Let's look at the D. D. Now to measure the D, you have something that says that find the vector PQ and Q prime, P prime. So vector, we've talked about vectors. If you have this, you are calculating for PQ, what do? You have Q, the origin of OQ minus the origin of P, which is Q minus P. So what is the coordinate? What is Q? You have Q from the question as 4, 5. So we have 4, 5 minus this, which is 1, -2. This will give you 3, 7. For the vectors, visit our previous videos. We've explained more about vectors, so you can see or get more videos on that when it comes to vectors. Good. Then you have this one, vector P prime, Q prime. So how we did this one is the same thing. Then the II. What is the shape of P, Q, Q prime, I prime? What is the shape? Look at the shape that you have here and tell us the shape you have. And this looks like a parallelogram. This looks like a parallelogram. So the shape there is a parallelogram. This is the shape. So ladies and gentlemen, this is what we have for you for today after looking at transformation, where you may given 2 or more examples to solve. With this one, you just have to know and solve it step by step. Then you just get your answer there as you are good to go. But this one is similar. It's just like a transformation. But this one is quite in a different form. If a question should come like this, 2023, let's be ready. If something like this should come, you just hit it and you solve, you get your answer. This one is past question 2004, which was given to candidates to solve. And those who were able to do it had their scores being everything correct. Thank you very much for staying tuned. This is Easy Mathematics. Please kindly hit the subscription button so that anytime a video is uploaded, you will be notified, and also others will be educated by sharing our links to people. And please, you can also sponsor this program anyhow you want this program to be promoted to the next level. Don't forget to share and hit the subscription button. See you next week on a new topic. The name is Christian. Bye-bye.